Hey folks, how we doing out there? I am going to make this video really short today, I do promise. I only have two things I kind of want to get out, but they're very important. First of all, for lodges, it's that time of the year we're going to start doing social quarter analysis, and that's where we come in and do the pricing on your beer and your liquor and see, compared to your cost of goods sold, how much profit you're making. As we know, that should be at 30%. Some lodges run a little bit higher. I do know that I've been talking to a few administrators and they're really nervous because they said, well, we've had a bad year, it's going to be awful. Your bottom line might not be doing so good because of utilities and fixed costs, things like that, and we need to do anything we can to keep those lower. But that won't affect your cost of goods and your beer and liquor ratios. How much beer you buy and how much you sell creates that number. So 30% is 30%. It doesn't matter whether you did $100,000 in sales in beer and bought $30,000 in beer. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter if it was $50,000 and $15,000 in beer. The ratios still match. So even if you had a bad year, we have to determine those liquor prices because we want to make sure that lodges are either charging the right amount, or if that number is too high, which is a bad number, if it's way more than 30, it's way past 30, 34, 35, then we have some issues there and we need to figure out what those issues are. Higher than that, then we really have some problems. So if anybody out there wants to go ahead and be one of the first ones to get that out of the way, feel free to send me an email and say, hey, I'd like to do it sooner than later. I'm more than willing to try to make that happen. But it is that time of year, so I'll be coming around. I will need the administrators there when I'm not be there when I'm doing the actual survey. It's fine, but at some point we do have to have a face-to-face and discuss those numbers. So we will be setting up appointments when I'll be in your lodge for that. The second thing is the One Moose, and we seem to be having a huge problem with the women not understanding chapter dues, and the One Moose dues come May 1st. So we've made posts on the Indiana Moose Facebook page. We've sent out the links for the One Moose program, but it just doesn't seem to be getting to the women membership. So I want to make sure that we as the lodge know what's happening, but also I'll be sending out in weekly stats today notice to the women, also the chapters, saying, hey, we need to make sure that our membership knows what's going on because it does not seem to be filtering down properly. Communication is always a big thing, and this past year has been really difficult because now we've missed an international convention, we missed a fall state convention where we would have talked about and had a workshop, and we're probably going to end up having a virtual one in March, which we'll probably do a video, but again, not everybody's going to be seeing that. So we want you, as the lodge, to make sure we're promoting the dues change structure for the women. Promote that One Moose Town Hall video that I put in the link for your email last week. But we need to make sure we're getting that out in any way information, whether that be a poster on the wall, by the restrooms. If you have a newsletter, you need to make sure it goes in the newsletter. I mean, we've got 3 months now. We've got more than a quarter before April 30th happens. So hopefully you'll have a couple of newsletters between them. Make sure it goes into every newsletter. We need to make sure they know what's going on. Again, I'm going to be sharing this with the chapters also, so they need to make sure they're doing their fair share, posting it in the women's restroom or on their communication boards if the women have a communication board within the lodge. But we need to get that out because people are really confused about how the due structure is going to happen for the chapters. The biggest thing right now is they're telling everybody that make sure your chapter dues are paid up by April 30th. You have to be current to get those 3 years of chapters dues. If you're expired come April 30th, you're not going to get those 3 years worth of chapters dues for free. You're going to be pulled over into the One Moose. You're going to have to pay the lodge dues, and if you want to maintain your chapter membership, you're going to have to pay the chapter dues, and you've lost out on 3 years. So we need to make sure they understand that. It's not exactly alike, but when I try to explain it to them, it's very much like the Moose Legion. Starting next year, May 1st, they're going to have to pay lodge dues, whatever the dues are for your lodge, and that ranges, so I can't say a dollar amount. $38 is the minimum because that's what Moose International takes, and then anything above that's what the lodge gets. That's whatever you guys charge. The women will have to be paying that next year as the one moose. Then, just like the Moose Legion, as a man, I pay $15, and it's different in a few territories, different jurisdictions anyways. I know some charge 17, but 15 is the minimum that gets charged, and I have to pay that if I want to be part of the Moose Legion. Well, that's the same thing for the women in the future. Are some women going to drop their chapter dues? Probably. It's going to happen. But also, remember, starting next year, anybody that needs to be an officer in the lodge has to either be a member of the Moose Legion or a member of a chapter. If their lodge doesn't have a chapter, they have to be a member of a chapter somewhere, neighboring town or lodge somewhere, or they can be part of All Heart, the General Assembly too. Anyways, that's all I wanted to get out there really quick. I try to keep as short as I possibly could. You guys have a good day. Again, I appreciate everything you all do. Take care. Bye-bye.